Okay, good morning. This is Sarah Shannon's Kitty Kingdom video number 5. And so, young people, today this particular video is going to be kind of like a review of another video that I did, but it sums up the idea that I want to try to get you guys to master as a teacher and as an educator, as a business owner, education consultant, and reading specialist. I know that repetition, repeating a couple of times, is a wonderful strategy to teach students as well as giving stories and parables to help to illustrate your point. And so today we're talking about how the theme or the message that you're going to get out of this particular video is to really truly believe that you can become what you want to become. I keep repeating that for a purpose. Okay, I've done 5 of these and I keep repeating that for a purpose. So I'm going to go to talk to you a little bit about what I talked to you briefly about Christopher Columbus as well as the Wright brothers and stuff. And so if you look throughout history, there have been people that have been leaders that have made decisions, like for example the Wright brothers, who helped invent the airplane, and then like Christopher Columbus, who was the first European to discover the North and South America, the America, so to speak, where we live right now, this area. And so the moral of me saying this and the purpose of me saying this is to tell you that when you're young and when you're growing up and you decide what you want to be in the future, you can learn from people like this and the decisions that they made to help you in your life. And so these people, they had theories. Okay, lots of people that have become leaders like George Washington Carver and Booker T. Washington and Harriet Tubman and all these amazing people, and George Washington, the first president of America, and Abraham Lincoln, and all these people that have in our current, Barack Obama, former 44th president, and all these wonderful leaders, and Hillary Clinton, George, and all these amazing people. What they do, a lot of them, especially the inventors and the innovators, the person who created the washing machine and the person who created the light bulb and all those, Thomas Edison and all these amazing people. And so what they do is they have a theory. They start off with an idea. Okay, so let's say, for example, let's take Christopher Columbus. He had an idea. I said that before with just a review. Many of them did. And so he had an idea that if he sailed west across the Atlantic Ocean, that he would discover a shorter way to get to Asia, because getting to Asia was a very tedious, a long, drawn out task. It took a lot of time, and it took a lot of patience, and it took forever. So he had an idea. He was an innovator. He had a vision. And so he had an idea that if he sailed west, that he would find a quicker way to get to Asia. And so he had trouble. I said before in the review I did, he had trouble getting people to sponsor him. When he went to the king and queen of Spain, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella at that time of Spain, he tried to get them a couple of times to sponsor him because he had to have the money to be able to fund it, the idea that he had, or the theory that he had. And so after a couple of times, first they looked at him like, we don't know what you're talking about, you're crazy, something up or whatever. But that's what happens when you have a dream, like Joseph in the Bible, for example. Sometimes when you have a dream, you have a vision, people don't always understand your dream, but that's okay. And so if you really strongly and you prayed about it, or you thought about it and you really, really, really feel strongly about it, believe in your dreams, and your dreams can come true if you use wisdom and the right tools and resources to make it happen for you. And so after a couple of times, he was able to finally get them to sponsor him. And do you know that he got ready to sail, but he couldn't find anybody to go with him at first because they were afraid. They were afraid that they were going to fall off the side of the ocean, because they thought at that time that the world was flat. Many people believed at that time, when Christopher Columbus was alive. It was in the 1400s. And so they thought that if they sailed across the west, like his theory, that they were going to fall off the side of the earth, because no one knew at that time. And so he was able to get people to go with him. You know who he got to go with him at first? He got Most of the people that went with him were criminals, were people that were they had been they promised that if they were to go with him, they would get their freedom when they came to where they were going to be and all that and everything. So he was able to finally get those people to go with him. And he sailed west across the ocean. And then, the rest of the story, to sum it up or whatever, he was able to successfully find not a shorter route to Asia, but he ended up finding the New World. So even though he made a mistake, he was still able to help other explorers come after him, and then they were able to discover this new world we live in, which was South America, was parts of Haiti at that time, which is we live in North America now, South America and stuff. So this new world, this new place that people in that area had no idea even existed, even though the Native Americans were already here. So that's just something up. So that's just an amazing example. In addition to the Wright brothers, for example, you can learn the history of the Wright brothers and many other people like them. Wright brothers had a theory that they were trying to find a quicker way to get from state to state and to get to where we need to be. Like when you fly from New York to California today, we take it for granted. We just get on an airplane, we're there in a couple of hours. At that time, it took a lot of time, same thing, to get from place to place. So the Wright brothers had the idea that if they found a way to create an airplane to fly people to where they're going to be. And it would take, instead of taking days or many, many hours, it would take a couple hours and it will be over with. And so the same thing with them. They had fear. They had to get sponsoring. They had many times of mistakes and accidents that happened along the way as they tried their theory out, many problems that they had and delays in getting their theory to come into fruition. But after many, many times and many, many failures and many, many attempts and many changes to the theory and how they had to figure out how they're going to get the airplane to fly and thinking about using their expertise and their natural gifts that they had inside of them to help them to bring their theory into fruition, they were able to finally get the first successful airplane in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina flew. And then we know the story now. We fly airplanes all the time because of that. So I'm trying to tell you, just to sum this up really quickly, if you have a vision, you have a dream, and you feel strongly that you have the gift to be able to bring it to fruition, don't, to be honest with yourself, do you have what it takes to make it happen? Don't let people and don't let obstacles and don't let the naysayers stop you from believing in your dreams. Just because you have mistakes and just because you have delays, it does not mean your dream will not come true. That's what happened to Joseph, and that's what happened to many people that have dreams that they either had a vision from God or they just had a dream inside of them. And with delays, if you really believe in yourself, your dream can come true. So that's more of the story today. Sir Shannon's Kitty Kingdom video number 5. Believe in yourself, young people. Believe in your dreams, and don't let the naysayers tell you that your dreams will not be able to come true. If you believe it, and if you feel strongly in your heart it's going to happen, your dreams will be able to come true. Have a wonderful day.